Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
And Coco Vanderwolf here in honor of this being an episode that is about dogs. We had to throw a little dog in the video, and Coco Vanderwolf, always here to please. We are discussing NCIS, Season 17, Episode 6, entitled Institutionalized. And Coco Vanderwolf, I don't know what she's here to do, but she's here to do something.
She's here to give the love, yes.
Okay, and we have Kasie Hines. Big story for her. We have wrongfully accused dogs, a lot of dogs. We're going to break all this down, but before we do anything else, if you like this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to CARTERMATT on YouTube, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates that we have coming your way. So, I know you had a lot of hype for Kasie's story.
Yeah, I was really excited about this episode because we haven't had enough, for me anyway. Kasie's been on the show a little while now. We haven't had enough spotlights on her, and from what I've learned about Kasie so far, I really love her. And one of the reasons I really love her is that she just feels very authentic to me. There's not a lot of characters that you get on a show that bring out, there's a crabbiness about her, is where I'm trying to go with this, that I really like about her because it makes her feel very real. I've seen some people talking online that they don't like that aspect about her, that she can be a little snappy with people, and I love it because it feels like something that a real person would do. All of us, we've all been there, we've all done that. And it makes her more relatable to me just as a regular, real person. So I love this character. I was really excited to get into tonight's episode, and she did not let me down.
I feel like NCIS in some ways is the official show for grumpy people everywhere, because occasionally Kasie gets a little grumpy.
Yes, she does.
I can get a little grumpy.
That's right.
Gibbs can get a little grumpy.
Me too.
And also, I mean, Torres, I don't know if grumpy is the right word, but Torres he's in his feelings sometimes.
Sometimes.
As in a lot of the time. So I think with that in mind, this episode brought us a good bit of all sorts of exciting things at front and center. But I think let's just start with being happy that Kasie and her friend Dante, as it turns out, Dante is not a killer. Kasie goes to bat for the right guy.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know. If this had ended any other way, really depressing episode of NCIS.
Yeah, and NCIS in general feels like a hopeful show. It doesn't normally want to bring us down, and to bring someone like Kasie that far down, to have a friend for 25 years that she's really believes in, and yes, he lied to her in this episode, as sometimes happens with friends, but he was up against the wall with something that he didn't do, and he was really scared, and he made a bad choice, but their friendship is still intact. It was just nice to see Kasie have that friendship, something that's outside of work for her.
And I liked how they kind of wove in the insecurity aspect of it with really both characters in a way, because Dante, I think, was insecure to share everything with Kasie because of her job. And I think Kasie, in some ways, was insecure of how everyone else on NCIS was going to perceive her at times during this investigation. And I think that added another interesting layer to this as well, where Kasie was sort of like, am I pushing too hard because he's my friend? And, is Vance going to read me the riot act? And I think both of them, we dived in a little bit into, I feel like, what is a pretty impossible situation.
Yeah, it was a really impossible situation, and I actually really liked the way that the team handled it.
Yeah.
You had Gibbs, who was willing to give an extra chance because this was a friend of Kasie's, and he trusted in Kasie that Kasie was going to be doing the right thing, and she did. Mm-hmm. And even when she took the shiv and she saw it, she threw it in her bag, I didn't even think for a second that she was doing it for the wrong reasons. I knew right away she was doing this for something, like she did. I want to know that this is exactly what it says that it's going to be.
Yeah.
I need to know for myself.
Casey's not that sort of person who is just going to go completely rogue on the team and then, like, have to earn their trust back in a hugely dramatic way after the fact. I mean, yeah, she didn't tell Bishop about what she found in the moment, but what did that last? Like 3 minutes of the airtime of the episode?
3 minutes. And she never intended on hiding the shiv. She just wanted to be the person that actually did it to make sure that it was done correctly for herself, to be the one to see the results and be like, oh no, or oh, this is something else.
There are a couple of things I would consider to be MVPs of this episode. Number one, obviously, Kasie Hines. Lots of screen time. We learned probably more about her as a person than we have through her entire season and a half as a series regular.
Yep. Especially about Kasie as a friend.
Yeah, she's a good friend.
I want Kasie to be my friend.
I know.
She's such a good friend. If she's your friend, she believes in you. Like when she found out that he had lied to her, that hurt that came through the screen was like nothing I had seen.
Yeah, and I think it shows a lot in terms of she's going to have someone's back no matter what they go through. And, you know, we're talking here about someone in Dante who has been to prison. And a lot of people, a lot of friends would turn their back on people in their lives that they go to prison. And they have judgment about them. But she doesn't really do that. And she still sees him for the person she wants to see him as. Number 2 MVP. Dogs. Not just one dog, all dogs.
All the dogs. There were so many dogs. I loved it.
Yeah, this is an NCIS episode near and dear to my heart already. I feel like Steve and Frank, there are a couple ways you can get right to us here. You know, obviously number 1 is bring back Ziva, but then beyond that, there's number 2, dogs on every corner. I mean, number 3 maybe going to Slim Street for you. Maybe that's number 2. I can't keep track.
No, that'll be number 3. Dogs might even be number 1 for me. I'm all dogs. Bring me all the dogs. I will have all the dogs. And there were so many dogs in this episode.
Coming next fall, NCIS dogs. This is going to be a bunch of talking dogs solving crimes.
I would watch that all day.
CBS, if you're interested, call us. Okay, so that was all happening. Let's spend a few minutes, though, talking about the latest in Bishop and Torres, because there was some ridiculousness going on here. I mean, as someone who grew up in a small town, by the way, this parade nonsense, I feel like this actually happens. I mean, I don't know if it happens in the same exact way that it happens on NCIS. No one from my hometown, by the way, has asked me to Grand Marshal any parades. I am immediately...
Or be the Tater Tot King?
Yeah, I could be the Tater Tot King, by the way. I love tater tots. I could eat a lot.
Yeah, you really could.
So, like, that is a position tailor-made to me, but... You know, this is totally one of those sort of things where it's like Bishop's arch enemy in school is now the meteorologist, and in the small town that, you know, constitutes, you know, making it big because...
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's on TV all the time.
Yeah.
This is like one of those sort of things you can easily point to. I feel like if I was like Bishop's friend here and I was trying to give her some advice, you're on our TVs, Bishop.
That's right.
You're not on everyone else's TVs. They don't see you all the time. They don't know the awesome work that you do. So because of that, they're always going to favor the weather person, which, by the way, she could probably get like 8 tornadoes wrong. I know this is Oklahoma, so there's probably 8 tornadoes every other weekend or something. And they would still probably have her do the parade because she's on TV.
Absolutely. I felt very bad for Bishop at the end because it feels like something that would happen. That they would ask somebody like Bishop to do it, and as soon as someone more famous from the town's available, now you can be the security, and we're gonna bring in this other person.
Yeah, like this is.
It just felt very much like something that I felt very bad for. Bishop needs a hug. I'll hug you.
Okay, there you go, Bishop. You have a hug. I will go to this made-up... I don't know if this city's actually real in Oklahoma. I don't want to say if it's made up. I will go there to the city hall and demand a change. Ultimately, though, you know, Bishop, you can have Torres. You can be the Grand Marshal for the Torres' Heart Parade. I'm sure that's the same thing.
Definitely could have, and I feel like Torres could have canceled his date with his dog.
Okay, this is you yanking everything I was going to talk about for the next minute out of my mouth.
And could have spent some time with Bishop and could have gone to his dog lessons or dog love, where he's getting to know his dog at the local dog shelter, because that's where this is going.
Yeah, judging from we did not talk about this beforehand for anyone who knew, but like I had this whole bit planned, and you know what's ultimately though is that
I just boom.
Well, this is the thing. What you're saying here, it speaks to the fact we could see this thing coming up the elevator, going right into the NCIS office where Nick is telling Ellie about his date, and like he brings up, he's more mature. It's like, okay, you don't talk about a person that you're dating that way to your coworker. Can you imagine?
Yeah, she's more mature, a bit older, all of that. And as soon as he was talking, I was like, okay, so
come on, Nick.
This whole thing has made him go to some sort of a dog shelter or somewhere where he's getting to know a dog that he wants to adopt, who's maybe an older dog, and that's where we're going with it. And I'm here for it.
You know what the NCIS writers were thinking? How can we make Nick Torres even more likable? There are already fans of Wilmer Valderrama from that 70s show. There are people who like his sense of humor. There are Ellick shippers out there. Give the man a dog.
It always makes everything better.
Dogs do make almost everything better. I mean, maybe now Torres can bring his dog, because we know he has a dog, right? They can go to the pet store that apparently Dante is going to be working at.
That's right.
Everything comes full circle.
And can bring Dante back. And I don't know if he's ever coming back or anything like that, but cool kind of character. I like the character. I like his interactions with Kasie.
Yeah.
And I would actually like to see more of that. I like this friendship. It's cool. It brings out this side of Kasie that I hadn't got to really see yet. So, a 25-year-old friend would bring more of that out for me, and I can get to know Kasie more.
Yeah, and I would be excited to see that too. I mean, I don't think we can sit here and pretend as though this was the most revealing episode of NCIS of all time in terms of like stories impacting the long game, but for a standalone hour, and an investigation into Kasie, if you will.
Yep.
We had some fun stuff in here, find out a little bit more about Bishop in the process, and we all learned that Torres has a dog. Now, if you want to see what is going to be coming up next on NCIS, we have a preview video we're going to be doing about that. But wait, there's more. We're also going to be talking about the future of Ziva because of some information that came out today.
Boom.
There's a lot of booms going on in this video, but before we do anything, actually, no, we've already gotten through everything, but let us know what you thought about this episode, all the various story threads, and if you liked getting to know Kasie more in the comments, and if you enjoyed this, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the CARTERMATT store, and we'll see you here next time.